We are in business. Very cool, very cool. Allow me to... Nope, that's not what I wanted. Futz around with the settings a little bit more. And we can... go ahead, hopefully... Okay. Seems like that is operational. Alright. Very cool, very cool. We are, once again, playing RAM Random Access Mayhem. As soon as I finished live stream, or I guess a day or two after I did the first live stream, it seems like Andrew Cunningham put out a new video shamelessly plugging this great game, and I was like, hey, more excuses to play this game for self-promotion reasons or whatever. Oh wait, that actually reminds me. Brief intermission. I actually need to maybe post in the in the RAM Discord server that I'm actually streaming. Alrighty. Okay, I think... managing too many tabs. This is new setup, you know. I think with that, we are good to just go ahead and get started. All of my little messages have been sent out. Oh man, I've definitely fiddled with a lot of different settings since doing the first stream. A lot of things that I didn't really take account for, like I didn't have chat like on the screen at all. I need to figure out an overlay for that. I don't have a particular build in mind for this run. I think I'm just gonna try to go for the ones that I like, show off maybe some of the upgrades I wasn't able to show off the last run, if I can remember which ones I ended up getting. But yeah, I usually go for a high explosion build when it comes to the routers, just because, again, I can't really aim, so I make up for aiming with high amounts of explosion size and damage. And then for aphids, there's usually one upgrade. It's like called rocket thrust nozzle that I usually like to go for. Overclock cooling is great because, like I mentioned before, the fire cooldown is basically a death sentence if you heat up too much. So being able to just quickly bring that back down to level is really nice. Yeah, lot of fun things to oh, that was a fun interaction. The deadlift still had me grappled in spite of the fact that it was a corpse. But yes, a lot of growing pains with this new Twitch thing going on. It's fun to fiddle around with. Even if, for the most part, it's still very much an invisible audience with no real feedback. But we press on, speaking into the uncaring void. Oh boy. Jeez. Alrighty. Problem with routers is that in these kind of small environments, they struggle to build up speed, and they, like, the grenades that they throw, the beautifully sounding bricks, they do more damage the faster you're moving when you throw them. And it's also, like, based on... It's very... the example that Andrew made was the tears from Binding of Isaac, which I have yet to play, but actually that kind of... I guess leads into the schedule for tonight. We'll probably play one run, and then maybe check out what the challenge is for today in RAM. And then I was thinking that it might be fun to then switch gears a little bit and go look at some of the games that are on my Steam library from a friend, but I've yet to play. And well, not to spoil, but if you watched the most recent Andrew Cunningham video talking about Ram's inspirations, they might be a little bit familiar. Nice. The other thing that I guess I just never really brought up were these little oil barrels, or I guess I don't exactly know what what's inside of them. Something that explodes violently. I mean, I suppose it has to be oil since it works pretty similarly to the oil that the aphids drop. But yeah, you can, as a deadlift, you can just grab one, get up to speed, and then just launch it at somebody. Oh, but you gotta be careful about chain reactions. And then the other thing of note is that whenever you see a robot that's differently colored, that means that they have an upgrade already built in. So I'm not sure what this one has. Oh, I think it has, yeah, it has the stacked shells, but it has another use of it. So now we can charge up to 3, which is really fun. So we can just if I could get down the nail driver timing. Ah, the jammers. Alrighty. Nice. Well, it doesn't mean much, but hey, at least we knocked the aphid into the jammer so that it very quickly took it out. Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, I died for my trouble, but that was really satisfying to just instantly take out a jammer with a fully charged stack shot. All right, let's build back up some swap juice. Ooh, nice explosion. Very nice explosion. Wait to switch into this guy. Oh yeah, that's another feature that, like, it's this is a very new addition, is that the deadlift can now grapple to walls for some quick movement, which, oh, that, I think with some upgrades to, like, increase the speed of cable deployment, it'll be a bit better. Right now it feels a little, like, slow to get started, and then once when you actually finally connect with the wall, you just start zooming. I imagine with some, there's also an upgrade that increases, like, the winch speed, in addition to the cable, like, initial thrust. So I imagine, like, that'll get pretty crazy with some upgrades. But yeah, no, Deadlift's not the best guy to take out this jammer because he's surrounded by... Let's just switch over to the aphid real fast. Oh, that was also another interesting thing that I didn't consider. You can actually quick draw the jammer for some pretty solid points. I never considered that. Some neat little tech right there. I think, yeah, no, cargo dock. This one's just got tons and tons of enemies, which is always... It's fun to watch. Sometimes it can get a little daunting. But at the same time, hey, with all these aphids around, collaterals are just, and accidentals are just bound to happen. So sometimes you just kind of... sometimes in this game, you don't even really have to do much. You just kind of wait for the enemies to kill themselves. Come on, guy. There you go. And I think we're going to do a nice little... Oh, boy. Yeah, always got to be careful when there are a ton of deadlifts around. Because they'll just grab somebody off screen and then just slam them into you when you're least expecting it. But also the fun thing that just kind of, again, so many fun little interactions in this game. Ooh, more stack shells. Is if you ever get grappled by a deadlift and you've got the swap juice, just swap into the deadlift, and all of a sudden you're on the positive, end of that interaction. Ooh, clothesline. I don't know what exactly it takes to get a clothesline. I know that's one of the more recent trick shots that they added. I think it has something to do with hitting a dude while you're grappling another dude. I'm not sure. That dude flew. Oh my gosh. Man, this is why stack shells is so great. You just... Even if you don't get the nail driver timing down exactly, the amount of force you've got behind your shots is phenomenal. Like this guy? Well, if Again, the nail driver timing is... I don't want to be... I don't want to say John's. However, ever since I went from a wired connection on the controller to a wireless connection, I feel like there is a little bit of latency. That is still very much... It's 100% a skill issue. Definitely not the game's fault by any means. And certainly not the game's fault. It's my computer's fault for not really understanding how the Pro Controller works. If it's not via Bluetooth, but... geez, I just saw... Hello, Blue. I appreciate the... what do you call it? The compliment. Yeah, in terms of... Yeah, in terms of, like, being a controller player, I'd probably say that, like... It's something that you just kind of have to do. I played this game for, like, over 40 hours. There's not really a whole lot of, like, advice I can give necessarily. I would probably just generally say that swapping is very fickle, because it works off of the same logic as the steel toe reticle, which is, like, you know... The standard kind of, you know, twin stick mentality is to always be holding in one direction, and that kind of makes the... it's very sensitive, I suppose, in terms of when you're trying to swap to a different bot. You have to like be very delicate with your right analog stick in selecting, and that doesn't feel the best. But at the same time, like, you know, there's not a whole lot that I could really offer as, like, an alternative. The one thing that I said previously that I just sort of, I don't know how easy it would be to implement, but I would really appreciate if, rather than, like, controlling the direction of where you're aiming the swap, instead, like, by holding down the swap button, you moved around a little, like, spotlight, and that way you could have a bit more precise, like, sort of aiming necessary. Like, because it's not really aiming, it'd be more like movement. Using the right analog stick rather than having to, like, aim your swap, you'd basically just move to your swap. I think that would be a really good change. And it also might help by allowing you to, like, scroll across the screen rather than being stuck on the same screen. But, you know, that... I don't know. I get some, like, a balance necessity of only being able to swap to enemies that are on screen, just as a manner of, like, sort of keeping... Like, because in this game, robots... Like, the enemies are resources, and if you're not taking good care of your resources, then, you know, you're going to die to really stupid ways. But yeah, I mean, I guess in terms of just, like, other sort of controller advice or, like, feedback. Ooh, there we go. I think... I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I don't think I can really give a whole lot of feedback, because genuinely, the controls are pretty intuitive. Like, aiming works the way that you want it to. All of the bots have a slightly different way to aim, but at the same time, you know, you point the gun in the direction that you want to shoot in, and then you shoot. I think there's certainly a good number of games where, you know, a mouse just kind of feels better. But I think in this instance, just because of a lot of robots, like, all of the robots are designed in such a way to where you aren't really trying to make super precise shots across the screen. Instead, everything is kind of at this nice little mid-range. And so I don't really need the precision of a mouse in order to get the results that I want, because I'm dealing with shotguns and flamethrowers, you know? Like, if there was kind of a, like, keep back sniper kind of character, then I imagine I would feel pretty restricted by my right analog stick being the only way to aim. But in the case of these robots, they're all really straightforward. Oh boy, I probably need to be doing a better job. I've been rambling this entire time, and I've not been keeping up with what you've been saying. For controller players, you with the right stick and press the button to cycle the nearby. Oh, cycle. Yeah, no, that's actually a pretty solid solution. Cycling to nearby bots. Yeah, I never would have thought of that. What button would feel comfortable to press? I think because I'm holding. So if I'm swapping, right? I'm usually not really holding down the left analog stick anymore. So I imagine mapping that to the D-pad would probably be the best, because it's like you hold down left bumper to swap, and then you use the D-pad to just scroll, and then you release, and then there you go. And the D-pad's just kind of right below left analog stick. It's intuitive. You don't have to map the left analog stick to, like, it might cause some problems if you also mapped the analog stick to like selecting between which robots you're targeting. I think you'd need to keep it like exclusively to, you know, a couple of buttons. But yeah, no, having an ability to sort of manually lock on to certain bots and then scroll between them makes a lot of sense. Ooh, I love this upgrade. Yorikiri. There's definitely, like, I get the appeal of going for for some deadlift upgrades that are more about, like, having you move around a lot. But counterpoint, that takes that takes skill. And aiming while moving, like, being able to, you know, figure out the direction a bot is going to fly if you're moving towards them and they're moving in a different direction just kind of feels a little weird. I always like just kind of standing your ground. Let's see. I am getting so many good upgrades for Steel Toe. It is absolutely nutty. Oh! Oh, man. Thank you, thank you. That was very satisfying, and that's like base Sonic Boom too. I don't even have any upgrades for it, so that was just a really really well timed reflection. Man, I'm oh, my Steel Toe is getting so shotgun heavy, and just bam bam bam, fully charged. Oh, it's this combat. I forgot that it's this combat arena where it's just all the routers bum rushing you. Oh, man. Oh, right, I can shoot faster. I can just... Oh, this was a poor decision. Don't swap into the bot who's currently actively being grappled. Oh, no. Oh, no. Every time I get grappled by a deadlift, my aim becomes so much worse. Oh no. Who's left? Ah, there you go. The last Steel Toe. There we go. But yeah, man, the Andrew Cunningham, the most recent video, I'm really excited about all the extra things you're adding. I haven't really played, to be perfectly honest, I haven't played a ton of roguelikes. The first one that comes to mind outside of Ram is Enter the Gungeon, which I've put a decent amount of hours into, but I haven't really, like, you know, mastered. I've gotten a couple of the past kills for I think all the base characters, but no one else. And then I haven't like beaten the Lich or anyone. So roguelikes aren't really my cup of tea most of the time. This game just has it's just a good little twin stick shooter that has a very fun little premise, and also it helps being made by a very lovely YouTuber. But so in terms of like the extra features that you guys are adding that are very Hades-like, it's interesting to kind of be like, oh, those will probably be neat, having no experience of like what Hades actually plays like at all. Oh, jeez. I'm really messing up this this fight. There we go. I like sort of the punch-out mechanic of when he does his sort of dashing around, about to smack ya attack. Oh, I don't have any juice. Yeah, well, he's dead anyway. But I like the fact that when he does that sort of dashing around, about to smack ya attack, there's that little ability to slap him, and then he loses a third of his shield. Again, my chassis is rent to ruins by the gormless golem goon. Rat piss and poppycock, my gambit is blundered, my queen is forfeit. If only you were pitted against my mind instead of this scrap iron shell, I could show you a real fight, etc., etc. I'm having fun as well, Cuckoo. And the boys. Alrighty. So we got our run of the day done. Let's see what the challenge run is. Okay. So, increased enemy AI. I saw people talking about this in Discord, and I thought that it was very interesting of like what exactly that means, but some of these upgrades are pretty solid. So I mean, deadlift seems like the way to go. Let's see. Alright, starting with the router. Oh, we get no upgrades as router. Quickly swap into deadlift. We'll see what enemy AI actually means. You know, obviously can't really tell right now. Oh boy. Alright, we're just gonna punch this guy to death. And then jump into him and punch, oh no! we frayed ourselves. I didn't even know that was a possible interaction. Oh wow, okay, I see. I think the aphids are clearly the most visible of the changes. Because they just immediately went for me and started spraying. They normally just kind of dance around a little bit before jumping right into it. Let's see. Yeah, no, certainly a good bit more aggressive. And then, I'm not sure if that's... there's a ton of quirks that I'm not entirely sure, you know, if they're consistent or they're just kind of like random, or if they're a part of this increased enemy AI. But I think when I swapped out of that aphid while I was holding down the fire button, it continued to fire, which would be an interesting little, like, setup. Oh, they can be worse? Oh, it's just +1. That's comforting. Love a good... Oh, I just swapped into the... pulled that oil bucket right into me as it was blowing up. Oh, no! There we go. Okay. Losing a bit of global, but oh well. Nice. I know that this is going to decrease my score, but I just kind of want to look at it. Oh, and the time stops, so I can actually sort of look We'll go for cable management. We're clearly going for the deadlift run here. We'll probably need to swap out to get some variety back up, but you know, this is definitely going to be. Okay, we'll swap into you, destroy this guy real fast, get some juice back up, and then there we go. Okay, we need to get some more juice. Ah! Ah. Oh, there's another... I've been killing dudes and I just completely forgot about the jammer. There we go. Alright. Oh. Oh boy, that was close. We are spending our global. It is a good thing there's no extra punishments for global. That first challenge run that I did on Sunday was very punishing for a guy like me who can sometimes get a little too big for my britches. Yeah, I think I sort of touched on this at the very end of the last stream, but I think it's an interesting dynamic. Unlike other games that can sometimes have, like, more well-defined, like, periods of where you're doing super well and therefore, like, it's easier to do well. Kind of that sort of momentum, you know, boulder rolling down the hill concept. In this game, that definitely happens. However, it's like the speed at which that can change, you know, it happens so fast. You know, one moment you could be, you know, completely out of juice, you know, hemorrhaging. You feel like you're, you know, on your last legs. And then all of a sudden you get a lucky aphid kill that just gets pushed into a group of enemies. They all die simultaneously. You get, you know, 10 million fitness points. And then just like that, you're winning again. And then on the other hand, you know, you could be absolutely, you know, cleaning up shop with a deadlift. And then, you know, a random barrel from off screen can just propel you away from all the enemies. And you lose a ton of local juice. Because you have to go into your might, so it has, like, it's a fun balance between the global juice kind of being this safety net and the local being this very volatile system of protection. Ow, I was trying to punch that guy to get him away from me, but no such luck. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I imagine we're not going to do super hot. I've been... Ooh boy. I've been bleeding a lot of points. I've been spending too much time in repeat. I'm about to die again. Oh boy. There we go. Oh, there we go. Huh. War ain't over nothing. We just finished. Score 29, not too bad. Let's see what the rankings are. Oh, I'm at the bottom. Yep, yeah, that checks out. Hey, a lot more people on the leaderboard today. That's a good sign. Right bumper for cycling swaps. That's certainly like, it's more ergonomic than the D-pad solution that I was talking about. But I think just in terms of like being able to, like, let's say, you know, you're trying to cycle really fast and you skip over one, having the D-pad be left or right allows you to just kind of go back and be like, oh shit, I missed that guy. Whereas if it's right bumper, if you scroll over somebody, then, you know, you just gotta keep pressing the right bumper until you find another one that's kind of like, if you're trying to go for a specific bot, you know? So, like, right bumper wouldn't be a bad a bad idea, I suppose. It might be, like, in terms of, because I know, you know, you can remap controls. It might be interesting. I'm trying to think, because we're very quickly running out of buttons on your standard controller. It's like the only ones that are unused is the D-pad and right bumper right now. But maybe, yeah, like maybe just have, I don't know. I think being able to cycle and being able to, like, cycle, you know, either forward or backwards is more important than the ergonomics of left bumper, right bumper. So that's what I would look into at first, and if it doesn't work out, then, you know, change it. But, I mean, I will sort of stress, even though it's not the most intuitive, I have gotten a lot better at swapping, like, not making unintentional swaps. Because when I first started playing, yeah, it was kind of a big problem of, like, I would go to try and swap into somebody, and I would either just completely whiff, or just screw up in some, you know, totally unique way every single time. So it just took a lot, where it's just, you have to be very cognizant of both where the cursor is, because it snaps to the cursor. Oh boy, I'm I'm losing a lot of global here. Because yeah, by nature, the swap bar, the little swap cursor will just snap to the nearest guy. It's very, like, very, very generous kind of aim assist in that regard. So you need to keep an eye out for which guy currently has the cursor on him, and then make small adjustments in your right analog stick to try and change it. But like, I've learned how to do it. I've gotten a lot better at swapping on controller, even with this current setup. I think there is room to make it more consistent. That's kind of the big word that I would go for, is consistent. Not even necessarily, like, amazing. But it just needs to feel, you know, usable. You know, like, you know, at the end of the day, people who play Doom Eternal on keyboard are always going to have the advantage mechanically because they can quick swap with hotkeys, whereas, you know, us console plebs are always going to be stuck with the weapon wheel. But the weapon wheel feels good, you know? Like, there's nothing wrong with the weapon wheel. It's just not, you know, the ideal means of selecting your weapon. But yeah, that's... Yeah, I think if you sort of... Yeah, no, I totally get it. Yeah, I think if you, rather than making... the swap reticle... So you aim the swap reticle with left bumper, you know, you hold with left bumper, aim with the reticle, rather than having it be sort of a single target, it's kind of this big circle that can sort of encompass multiple bots, and then within that circle, you use the D-pad or the right bumper to kind of cycle between those. I think you can make it pretty visually clear. There's a couple of good ways to do it. But yeah, I think... I mean, I've got... I'm not entirely confident who Blue is, whether this is Andrew or Toby or somebody else on the team. But I'll throw it to you, man. Do you want me to keep John off about RAM, and I can maybe, you know, ask you some questions about development and how that's going, or do you want me to swap gears to a game that I actually don't have 40 hours in? Oh, you're a playtester. Oh, slick. Oh, no, yeah, no, I've seen you over on the Discord. Okay, I was like, Blue is not a handle that I was familiar with, but I mean, I have multiple handles on different sites. So I just I didn't know. But yeah, man, like, I'm just, you know, head empty. It's 11 o'clock my time, so I'm not really doing big thinks here. If you want to keep watching this, then you know, by all means, maybe I can try and get a slightly better score than tied for last in the daily runs. But I also have some other games queued up, or I guess not. They're not open, but you know, I downloaded them. Okay, so this guy's got. All right. Oop. What I am sort of generally curious about, yeah, no problem, man. But what I sort of just kind of speaking generally, I know as a playtester you probably don't you know about as much as I do, but I think it's interesting to see, like, from what I can tell, there's going to be sort of this central town. There's going to be the central town that, you know, kind of Hades-like, where you start runs. But I'm not entirely sure the logic behind the different levels, right? Like, what exactly is... What's the end game? Like, where are we trying to get to? And how does that sort of relate to, you know, the locations we're visiting? Like, I suppose, I think, with, like, the Indigo comment at the end of the CPU fight, it might be some kind of situation where we're trying to kill certain robots, kind of like an assassin sort of situation. Because presumably Cuckoo, you know, the handler guy, is activating a, you know, this rogue golem agent to do his dirty work for him. And so it'll be interesting to see how they tie each level together, because from the demo, we can kind of see the logic behind how the level transitions are going to work. We're going to zoom out and then, you know, select, you know, the next level from the larger map, and then just sort of jump right into it. I'll be really interested if they allow for, like, diverting pathways. That'd be super novel of, like, you know, you can either take out, you know, you go to this level or this level, and maybe it's sort of Super Mario Odyssey thing where... Yeah, it's a lore question. But, I think it'd be really neat to allow for sort of a Super Mario Odyssey style, where it's like you choose which one of the two levels you go to first, and then you pick up the second one on the backswing. Or maybe, you know, you just go full, sort of open branch with it and allow for players to kind of skip levels entirely. I'm not sure. Like, likely that's probably not going to happen, because, you know, why deprive players of content in a game that's sort of made by two people? You kind of want each run to squeeze as much of the game out of it as possible, I'd imagine. But I'm interested to see kind of, like, I know the primary gameplay loop very well at this point. I am very excited to see the secondary and tertiary gameplay loops and how they kind of all tie back to the main one. Ooh, we love a good quick draw. Hopefully I'm doing a bit better on points. I say that as soon as I die immediately. Oh boy. Another question, if you're still here, Blue, that I have, I guess just a bit more pertinent to the challenge runs. Do you get extra points for having, like, leftover global swap juice? Because I think that would actually be a pretty, like, good metric for giving extra points, is like, hey, you know, you managed to get through the, you know, all these stages without losing any global. You know, you get some extra point bonuses at the end. Maybe they already thought of that, and I just haven't paid attention to the fine details. I usually, when you give me kind of results screen, my eyes gloss over. Oh, it's just fitness? Okay. I think maybe in the future, if you're going to have, if we're going to have sort of more of a challenge run kind of situation, having some kind of point conversion for your global might not be a terrible idea. I mean, on one hand, I get the mentality, because you just, like logically, I think it kind of makes sense almost lore-wise, where truly the Golem agent only cares about... Yeah. I think that makes sense, because I definitely do not spend my global energy aggressively. I die whenever I do that. But I think it totally makes sense for the Golem agent to not really care about their global swap energy. I care about it because I have a sense of self-preservation, but clearly the Golem agent doesn't. So I guess it makes sense that they wouldn't want to try and incentivize that with extra points. But that was just kind of a off-the-dome kind of thought. Hey, not last. We're tied. We're tied for third to last. Hell yeah. But I think I do want to at least try out Hades. So give me a moment while I swap over. Alrighty. Now this is going to be... Oh boy. This is going to be just a completely fresh file. Oh boy, and it's taken a hot minute to load. Probably should have at least booted it up before trying it out on stream, but... Yeah, no. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Blue. Appreciate the conversation. Alrighty. Oh, yeah, probably good idea to switch scene now. I'm still having a bit of trouble. First thing, let's turn this down a little bit. Well, looks like the intermission's gonna last a little bit longer while I try and sort out this technical problem to try and get OBS to give me the right thing. Alright, let me put back on the Kirby Jazz. There we go. Okay, just gotta resize this puppy. I think I know what happened. Yeah, that's just kind of my dumb. Okay, just need to be more cognizant of that. Alright, we're learning. Alright, Kirby Jazz, your appearance is always appreciated. Thank you for your service. Let's turn this back up. That's probably good volume. Hopefully. Maybe. Okay. And then... boom! There we go. Hey! I'm back. But yeah, no. I've been meaning to play Hades for a really, really long time. Let me... Nope. Let me just slide my little guy down bottom left. We'll see how. I don't know where the UI in Hades is, so we'll have to slide this guy around a little bit to make sure that he's unobtrusive. But I've been keeping up with Supergiant games for a while now. I got Bastion on the Xbox years ago, and I love that game to pieces. And then I picked up Transistor for the Switch, and then Pyre for my PC. And then I just never got around to Hades because I'm weirdly enough, I've only played roguelikes for this channel so far, but I am not really a big roguelike guy. Just kind of not my cup of tea. But certainly if I was going to give a crack at it, I would love to do it with one of my favorite dev teams, which is Supergiant. So let's just jump into it. If I can. Oh no, that's a problem.
Are told of Hades.
It's using Nintendo. It recognizes that it's a Nintendo Switch controller, and so it's using A instead of B.
I, however, mean to tell you such a tale. Listen.
But yeah, no, I've always really loved the Supergiant games. I know they've got Logan Cunningham, who's the voice actor for the narrator in Bastion, as Hades. Which, from what I can tell, even though he's technically the final boss, he still has a pretty large speaking role because of the design of this game. But yeah, it immediately, the dash is certainly a lot longer and quicker than the kid's dodge roll. But it's very familiar, this 1, 2, 3, it's like the hammer. Yep, this is definitely what Supergiant Games is best known for. Is there any... Okay, so we got a heavy. Okay. And then, we've got a little ranged guy. Okay, so each of the face buttons do something else. That's good, that's good. Do we... It seems like this is on some kind of... The little range projectiles on some kind of cooldown, but I'm not really sure where to see that. I'm also not sure what this little red crystal means. Oh, okay, so... Oh, I get it. So the range projectile is throwing this little crystal guy, and then an enemy sort of basically takes it in the face, and then you kill that enemy, and you pick up the brick from their head. Very fun.
It's got to be her. Then here goes nothing. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
Let me turn up.
Hail, noble cousin.
There we go. Can I scroll? Can I have my mouse move to another screen? There we go. There we go. Let me just turn up the volume a tiny little bit. Nope. I keep... Windows 11, man. I am still trying to get used to it. Okay. Let's see. So Artemis was giving me something neat. Okay. Ooh. Oh, Hyperlight Drifter Dash? Oh, we have to confirm with A. I still hate that. Can we change that? Subtitle... Control... Okay. Well, I can't find that feature anywhere. So I guess we're just gonna we're stuck with having to use A to interact with things, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, when I'm playing a Nintendo game, I don't think about it. And when I'm playing an Xbox game, I don't think about it. But when I ever have to, like, switch between the two, where A is no longer confirm, and then B is, and then, you know, vice versa, I just start... I have an aneurysm every single time.
Don't cross me again.
Oh, what's this? 10 goobers. I presume that's currency. I know... I think from what I've heard, obviously this game is not designed for you to beat it in the first run, but there is supposedly special dialogue if you make it to Hades in your first run, which I find very, very funny, because I think there was even like a dev interview that they gave where it was like, surely we don't have to, you know, make dialogue for if players get to Hades on their first run, because they can't do it, right? And then another dev just kind of looked at them and was like, bro, this is the internet. They're going to do it probably like day one. And most likely somebody did. And, you know, that's wonderful. Also, I haven't really been taking much use of this deflect... Oh, okay, so there are traps on the ground. I need to be a bit more cognizant of that. But, ooh, what's this? More 100 little doobles. Alrighty. I wonder... Hey, deflected. Deflected. Nice. I wonder if the deflection is for projectiles exclusively or counts for melee. I'm not really wanting to try, but nevertheless, I am a little bit curious. Can you... Oh, you can just punch, like, slash projectiles out of the air. That's really cool. Yeah, no, like, this is a pretty solid little control scheme we've got going here. I know that they're, like, the sword is kind of the basic starter one, and then there are different weapons. But right now, I'm really liking this sword. Oof. Man, these traps... I think the traps at this point have probably done more damage to me than the enemies themselves. More Zoobles. I don't know why I keep calling them Zoobles and Doobles, but I guess we're just gonna have to run with it. Oh, what's that? Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, okay. That dude is dangerous. Okay, so kind of got an armor... Oh boy. Okay, we are very low health. We've got our little guy back. Okay. Oh boy. Barely dodged that guy.
That sound, that was...
Hey!
Revelry? People having a good time? Well, sure then.
It's my boy.
Man, how's it going? Look, you have got to get here with the rest of us already. We've been saving you a spot.
Make life a little sleeper. Okay. Specials inflict, take less damage. I think we're gonna go with this one because right now I kind of need it. Let's... I don't know what that symbol is.
Myself, but I can fight.
Oh boy. Okay, so it seems like the heavy is a pretty good way to break the armor pretty fast, which is nice, especially for these little skull guys. Oh boy, man, I got smacked real hard that time.
This one was bound to show up, I guess.
You've got quite the fighting spirit in you there, I have to say.
Alrighty.
Most intriguing, and yet no surprise for someone born in hell itself. You come on out of there and tell me all about it. I'm a fellow student of death, you see.
Attacks inflict doom. What is that? Can I, Okay. Oh, brief moment. Victor takes burst damage. Go with Battle Rage. Why not?
This is my fight.
So it seems like... Okay. So it seems like we can equip a certain number of passives, and then there are actives, or like... There are some passive abilities, and then there are things that we can slot onto our sort of 4 main buttons. So we've already got an upgrade for our dash, and then we get extra little things for... Oh boy, that's a... What does that do? That's an explosion, okay. Yeah, this is very... the upgrades are very transistor-coded. That system had a very... that game had a very similar system. I'll be interested to see if it is as balanced as Transistor, or I suppose a lack of balance. Because in Transistor, a couple of good upgrades in the right places, and that game basically played itself. It was a fun game, up until I figured out how to snap it in half. But a little bit less fun when I realized that the ability that allows you to you can deflect melee attacks. That's good to know. I think we're just gonna keep slamming. Oh man, just slam jam. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. No, I am about to die. It'd be nice if I could get to the first boss before. Ooh. Hey, we schmoovin', we livin'. Okay, yeah, good. Get the key, I suppose. We already got one of them, but we can always use more keys. Oh, that's about to explode. Don't know what that attack does. Oh! Okay, very cool, very cool. Okay, so yeah, deflecting dash is really good. I am very glad I picked it up. Because it definitely operates off of Bastion logic, where counters are really strong. If only I could get the upgrade that Bastion allowed you to get, where your counterattacks give you a tiny bit of health back.
Come in handy.
I imagine that's not the case. From what I can gather, health is a pretty finite resource in this game, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh boy. Next. Oh, nice. Oh, that was poor decision making on my part. Okay. Yeah, I think we're the extra range of the heavy attack, just so I can kind of burst them down a little bit safer. We're getting the hang of this. This is a really solid combat system. It's definitely a bit more kind of my speed, I suppose. Like well, I think it helps that this game was definitely made for controllers a lot more than RAM was. But it was funny to kind of listen to Andrew talk about how certain games were more his speed than others, because I feel like in a lot of ways what he considers to be like intuitive and sort of dynamic, I find to be really hard to play with a controller, because I just grew up on consoles, so I know that I should probably start trying to just force myself to play with mouse, but also if games keep allowing me to play with controller, I'm just gonna keep playing with controller, Oh, geez, okay. There's an interesting thing that I'm not sure, where it feels like I'm trying to dash away and then I almost snap backwards. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure if that's just a part of if I'm just pressing attack, if I'm just essentially attack canceling with the dash, or what's going on there. But who's this guy? Oh, it's Hypnos.
Wait, I know you. Guess that means you died out there, huh? Well, don't be sad, though. Pretty much everybody dies sometime.
Some of us more than
Back
others.
already. Stupid boy. I told you nobody gets out of here, whether alive or dead. So how was your wanton ransacking of my domain?
Greetings, Father. My ransacking was a delight, thank you for asking. So I'll just be on my way again.
Be on your way indeed. What do I care? You shall never reach the surface. Go. See for yourself.
Infernal watchdog Cerberus regards the underworld prince with mixed emotions.
You watch over things for me, won't you, boy?
Yeah, this game just I can see why this game, more than any of the other Supergiant games, kind of took off. Because it really is kind of the culmination of a lot of their skill sets that they've developed. This beautiful blend of kind of 3D modeling and, 2D, sort of hand-drawn backgrounds. All of the voice acting that I've heard so far is...
If I sit down, I won't want to get back up.
Has been absolutely phenomenal. I love hearing Logan Cunningham. He is...
What is it now?
Is it Logan Cunningham? It's so funny because I know of Logan Cunningham before Andrew Cunningham, and I sometimes in my mind will be like, Logan, I mean Andrew, I mean Cunningham, whoever. I wonder if Andrew's made that connection. I mean, Cunningham isn't exactly a super... It's not like it's a rare name by any extent of the imagination, but I imagine I wonder how many people have kind of poked that about him.
Okay.
Oh, so the keys are currency to get new stuff. Okay, very cool, very cool.
There we go. Coronacht, the Heartseeker. Let's deal some death.
Okay. Yep. The power shot is a little hard to do, but this power shot system, very familiar. Oh, okay, so, and then the heavy is a little burst. That's interesting. I don't think... This might not be for this particular game. While in Bastion, I absolutely adored the... What was it called? The rifle? I think in this game, it might just be a little bit more prudent to kind of dash in and out. And having to stand still in order to aim feels very stinky. Oh, so you can press Y. Well, okay. Okay, so that's interesting. There seems to be a bit of... Alrighty. I think we're gonna stick with the sword for right now. Okay, so yeah, there's a bit of a thrust.
I can do this. First get past the wretched shades of Tartarus. Easier said than done. And doubtless I'll be running into Meg. The River of Flame ought to be just beyond. Find a way up to Elysium from there, and after that... Alright, let's give it another shot.
Hell yeah.
I can escape from the courtyard back there.
Okay, so I'm now actively looking for the entrance.
My escape route's back the other way.
They always come back. Nice place you got, you boyo. Name's
Skelly.
How's it going? But enough with the small talk already. I'm here to do...
I don't remember having you on payroll, mate. Who's your supervisor?
Oh, I'm not about to wrap my sources, pal. Just try and beat it out of me.
If you insist.
That's interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, it's... If you're going to give a training dummy a personality, you might as well make them a masochist. It was very fun design to have his tongue be a coin, kind of like the tax to Charon, or whatever. It's Charon. I have read it more than I've heard it pronounced, so Charon, Charon... Heck if I know, man. Hey, Zeus, my boy.
Okay.
Greetings there, young man. Look, your father's always been rather difficult, and he's not so much as called in quite some time. You'll have a better home where you belong, here on Olympus. And to help you on your journey, have my blessing.
Alrighty, let's see. Thunder okay, I kind of want to keep... It's a burst of lightning. Bounce between foes. I think I want to go... Let's go with Lightning Strike. Because I'm definitely just pressing Y the most.
Never thought I'd see the day.
So we'll see. We'll kind of get the most sight out of it. But yeah, no, I'm as someone who kind of grew up with the Percy Jackson novels, it's fun to see the different takes on the Greek mythology because there's, you know, obviously, you know, a lot to draw from, and just kind of the different personalities. I think Hades is pretty novel in that it doesn't have a like, Percy Jackson had, you know, it had sort of the nuance, it had sort of the what would be the proper term? The self-awareness to note that in Greek mythology, Hades isn't really a villain. Like, yeah, sure, he's Lord of the Underworld, but he's just kind of doing his job, and most stories depict him pretty, like, fairly. Okay, so that's a little trap. Gotcha. But it's interesting to have this story be very much about the kind of familial dynamics of the Olympians. Because, you know, for the most part, most stories about, you know, the Greek gods always from the perspective of, you know, the mere mortals just trying to make their way through life, dealing with, you know, the gods' fickleness. So it's really fun to kind of see the dynamic from kind of a more personal side of being the son of Hades, and having your kind of like your uncles and your aunts try and help you out, get out of your dad's house. Honestly, you could describe this this game.
Delicious.
Ooh, okay, so that's what the pomegranates do. This game could be easily described as the quest to move out of your parents' house, which in my current stage of life I find a little too relatable. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Ooh, we love using environmental bombs to hurt the enemies. Okay. I like, oh boy, if I'm not doing super hot with doing it, but I like the fact that you can kind of weave in your heavy alongside your light attacks, and it feels pretty natural and intuitive.
Got me. No way to patch up. Got to keep going.
And then another thing that I just kind of need to do a better job. Actually, oh my god, is the sound effect of these guys the exact same as the gas fellows? Hold on. There was for a moment, I swear, I just heard the gas fellows pickaxe charge. It might have just been purely in my head, but I feel like I'm going crazy here. Also, man, this run's doing a whole lot worse than the first one, huh? Alrighty, let's see what we got. Take less damage. Yeah, let's go for after party. Okay. Alrighty. Oh boy. Yeah, we need to be playing a little bit more careful here. Like, I think a lot of this game is reminding me a little too much of Bastion, and in that game, you know, you can afford to be aggressive because health was pretty liberal in that game. But this one, not so much. You got to be very cautious. Play like a weenie sometimes, which, you know, fine by me. I played a good amount of Bastion with all the idols turned on, so I know about proper weenie playing. That sounded wrong. Man, am I glad nobody's watching. Though I'm probably gonna put this up on YouTube, so maybe cut the part out. But yeah, I know how to play like a little coward when I need to. I just kind of need to get back into that mindset. Because you know, new game, like, I want to press all the buttons at the same time simultaneously. But if I actually want to see more of this game, then it will probably behoove me to actually
The underworld's power.
be a little cautious here. Okay, so that seems like a little like a bag of money, or maybe an ability to buy something.
The river.
Excellent. Okay, so I am poor. I can buy a key. I think I just kind of want to save up my money. Yeah, it's this guy, Karen. Karen?
Why, good to see you, Charon, mate.
Karen.
Just minding
Okay,
my
that's how
own
he's
business,
calling
taking
it.
in the sights, and hey, what's that you got? Some sort of wares for sale? And I'll just have a look around.
What a nice guy.
Infernal wares of the Stygian boatman Charon. Lies
Charon.
rolled about. Available for sale.
That would be me.
Alrighty. Ooh, that's a okay. So you got to destroy the bone pile to keep the skeleton heads from popping out. But they're pretty weak, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, a lot of bone piles. Okay.
Nothing.
Oop. Dip, dive, and dodge.
Coin from the dead.
Hey, money, money, money. If only I got that last time, but, you know, whatever. It's like, hey, appreciate the money. Could you have given it to me, like, a room earlier? Okay, so these are... Oh, boy. Okay, so those guys just... Okay, leave behind their bombs when they get spooked. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, okay. Yep. Yeah, so that guy can just dip and leave 2 bombs, and that does a big old chunk of damage, so...
Stupid skeleton twins.
Yeah, no, you're telling me, man.
Whoa, you just got killed by one of those bloodless inferno bomber skeleton type guys. Nice. I always wondered what would happen.
Okay.
Gee,
Someone's at the desk
thanks.
next to the throne.
Huh?
Some sort of special offer for me, my good shade.
Okay, okay. Work orders. Hold on,
Work authorized. A fountain chamber in the depths of Tartarus sounds like an
Oh,
excellent
I
idea.
see. So we're telling these guys what to do, and if we get some of this gem currency, we can tell them how to give us some extra. Okay. Very cool. And then, so this is about just kind of upgrading. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Very cool.
Do not despair, child. Such setbacks are inevitable and may be overcome with effort and with time. You made contact with the goddess Athena. She shall be true to her word.
I believe it, Nyx. I'm grateful that you put us into contact. I know you took a considerable risk in reaching out.
The risk is not to me. I expected the Olympians would involve themselves in this eventually. Reveal to them no more than they already know. Are we understood?
Yes, we are.
Interesting. So apparently there's some kind of conspiracy going about in hell. And also Nyx, I believe she's a goddess. I am not up to date on my Greek mythology know-how, but so she put us in contact with the Olympians. Very cool, very cool. All right, that's locked. Got a bunch of little
The
doodads,
House of
trinkets.
Hades, that dark and
You know I can hear you, old man. Not as comfy as it looks.
Good to see you, lad, despite the circumstances.
And fear is for the weak.
Oh, that's cool. So Achilles is just lounging around in the in the atrium of hell.
There's a good boy.
The dog has enough troubles of his own.
I believe, now this is very much secondhand knowledge, so take this with a grain of salt, but I believe the name of the three-headed dog, Cerberus, comes from a sort of interpolation of like a Greek word for spotted, which essentially means that Hades got a three-headed dog and named him Spot, which is very, very fun.
Open up.
I'm not really sure, like, that's very kind of the memey interpretation of the name. I'm not sure if there is, like, some kind of, you know, greater meaning behind Spot or Spotted to be the, you know, the guard dog of hell, but it's fun nonetheless. Makes for an interesting kind of little party fact. I think, if I'm recalling correctly, I think I picked up that tidbit from the Punisher TV show on Netflix. Yeah, I think what's this guy? The guy in the chair said it. Shoutouts to Spider-Man: Homecoming. I don't know if they just like picked it up off of the internet or somewhere else, but the term "guy in the chair" to refer to like the tech support guy to the main, you know, hero is such a perfect encapsulation of of that archetype. All right, let's see. I think we're just gonna go with double edge.
Daedalus, wherever you may be right now, thank you. No, you don't.
Okay, what was that? That was an interesting interaction. I'm not sure what that exactly entailed, but what was I was talking about something. Yeah, no. Guy in the chair is such a fun little moniker because it's so non-descriptive, and if you don't kind of know what what somebody's talking about in context, it's like, oh, what do you mean, like, guy in the chair? Yeah, guys sit in chairs. Like, what's your point? But within sort of that context of, you know, tech support guy, it's like, oh, that's such a fun descriptor to contrast, obviously, the guy who's not in the chair, the guy who's running around doing the Tom Cruise dash. I'm doing pretty good on health, so obviously you don't need to pick up more of it. At least we're doing good on health for right now. Hopefully we can get through this room without taking too much damage. I think what might be interesting, I'm gonna try and stick to the sword to just, you know, kind of get my bearings first before I really try and experiment with the other weapons. But I think it would be, it's probably like a good idea to get one of the weapons that kind of have that longer charge time alongside it, and then just kind of spawn camp the little circles. Because right now, all of my attacks are just a little too fast to really kind of make use of the fact that I know where the enemies are going to be.
Maybe it'll help you too.
Let's see. Dash strike deals more damage. Special is stronger. Yeah, we'll just go with deadly strike. More damage is damage.
Sounds like good company to keep.
I really liked that reflect dash. If I can get my hands on an Athena totem, or a boon, I guess, soon, then I will definitely be picking that back up if I get the opportunity. But I know that there's, I'm not sure if it's like each god only has one like upgrade for each little ability, or if they have like a rotating selection. I hope, in the case of Athena, I hope it's the former and not the latter, because I really like that deflecting dash. But at the same time, you know, extra variety is always nice. Definitely, I think I got a pretty sweet, setup with my first run, because that Ares buff really kind of tips you over a lot of damage thresholds that I just wasn't aware of. And now I'm taking small little chips because I'm like, oh, you know, I can definitely take this guy out before he can hit me. And then proceed to get bamboozled.
Heads up.
Ooh, very nice, very nice, very nice. So the health doesn't just restore your health, it also gives you max health. So that's actually something to keep in mind. Oh boy, a lot of explosions. Okay, okay. Watch out for the Final Fantasy circles. I know Final Fantasy XIV didn't, like, they are far from the first people to, you know, use the concept of the little danger reticles, or the danger circles, but that's just the first thing that comes to mind, even though I've never played that game. I have friends who swear by it, and I think the fact that they swear by it makes me all the more hesitant. Nothing against my friends. Oh, actually, one thing against my friends: the fact that they play Final Fantasy XIV. You know who you are. Oh boy. What is this?
Who should I give this to?
Oh, okay, so that's just a thing. Okay, increased danger, but we get a nice little rune. Oh, it's these guys. Okay. Hello, boys. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. That's frustrating. Man, they just drop their bombs all over the place. Like, it's really hard to get a bearing on.
Bloodless bastards got me.
Yeah, no kidding. But I think with that, it is getting pretty late on my end, and we've been going for, an hour and a half. I think that's good enough time. So I think we are going to end the stream here. Thank you all for watching. Have a good night, and take care.